Welcome to Learn English with GlobalLinkLanguage.
Hello everyone, welcome back to GlobalLinkLanguage, your go-to source for all things English. Today, we're delving into a crucial aspect of effective communication, asking for permission. So let's jump right into the wonderful world of polite language. First things first, let's clarify what we mean by permission. It's the consent or approval to do something. Asking for permission is the act of seeking approval or consent from someone before doing something that may affect them, use their belongings, or enter their personal space. It's a way of showing respect and acknowledging the rights and preferences of others. Permission is often sought in various situations, such as borrowing items, entering spaces, or involving others in plans, to ensure that everyone is comfortable and on the same page. Asking for permission is not just about being polite, it's a key element of respectful communication. Now, let's dive into the art of asking for permission. We'll introduce you to all the most popular ways of asking, so you can confidently use them in any context. The first is to use modal verbs to ask for permission directly. We have, can I? It's commonly used in everyday conversations and situations where a moderate level of formality is appropriate. Examples, can I borrow your pen for a minute? Can I use your phone to make a quick call? Can I leave the office a bit early today? Could I? More polite than can I? It's often used in both formal and informal contexts to add a touch of politeness. Examples, could I ask for your permission to access the shared drive? Could I use your computer for a moment? Could I have a moment of your time to discuss a project? May I? It's used in formal settings, such as at work, in academic environments, or when speaking to someone in authority. Examples, may I have your permission to leave the meeting a bit early? May I request permission to use the company car for a business trip? May I take a moment of your time to discuss a proposal? It can also be used in everyday situations, and its usage is not strictly limited to formal contexts. In casual or everyday language, may can be used to make polite requests or seek permission. Here are more examples. May I borrow your umbrella? It looks like it's going to rain. May I ask you to turn on the heating? It's freezing in here. Would I? It's used in highly formal or polite situations, often when seeking permission in a respectful and deferential manner. Examples, would I have your permission to submit the report tomorrow instead? Would I be able to leave the office a bit early on Friday? Could I possibly is a phrase that conveys a high level of politeness and consideration. It suggests that you are aware of the potential inconvenience and are seeking permission in a gentle manner. It's particularly suitable for formal or professional settings where a higher degree of formality and respect is expected. Example, could I possibly have your permission to present our findings at the upcoming industry conference? While it is more formal than some other requests, could I possibly can still be used in informal situations when you want to be exceptionally polite or when dealing with more sensitive matters. Example, could I possibly borrow your car for a few hours this afternoon? I have an urgent appointment. Borrowing someone's car is a personal request, as it involves entrusting personal property to another individual. The sensitivity comes from the fact that personal belongings, especially valuable ones like a car, are involved in the request. By using the phrase, could I possibly? In this context, the speaker is acknowledging the personal nature of the request and expressing a high level of politeness. Making requests with could I possibly? This phrase is not only used for permission, but can also be employed when making various requests. Example, could I possibly ask for your assistance with moving some furniture this weekend? In summary, could I possibly is a versatile phrase that adds a polite and considerate touch to requests, making it suitable for both formal and informal situations. It demonstrates respect for the other person's time and consideration. Number 2, using structure. The structure is a versatile way to ask for permission in English. It's a straightforward and direct approach. Here are various ways to use this structure along with detailed examples. Is it okay? This phrase is straightforward and commonly used in both formal and informal situations when seeking permission or approval. Examples. Is it okay if I use your laptop for a moment? Is it okay to bring a friend to the party? Is it okay if I leave work a bit early today? Is it cool? This phrase is slightly more informal and often used among peers or in relaxed settings. Examples. Is it cool if I borrow your bike for a quick ride? Is it cool to reschedule our meeting to later in the day? Is it cool with you if we change the dinner plans? Is it all right? This phrase is a bit more formal than is it cool, but still less formal than is it okay. It strikes a balance between casual and polite. Examples. Is it all right if I use your office for a private call? Is it all right to submit the report by the end of the day? Is it all right if I change the TV channel? I noticed there's a show I've been wanting to watch. Is it fine? The phrase, is it fine, is versatile and can be used in both casual and formal situations. It's a relatively neutral and adaptable expression, making it suitable for a variety of contexts. Here's a breakdown. Examples. Is it fine if we meet at the coffee shop instead of the office? Is it fine if I reschedule our meeting to tomorrow? While slightly less formal than some alternatives, is it fine can still be used in formal or professional settings, especially when the context allows for a more relaxed tone. In some cases, it might be a suitable middle ground between formality and informality. Example. Is it fine to submit the report by the end of the day, or is there a specific deadline? Is it acceptable? And slightly more formal than is it okay and is it fine, suitable for professional settings. Examples. Is it acceptable to extend the deadline for the project? Is it acceptable if I bring my laptop to the presentation? Is it acceptable for me to make a suggestion during the meeting? While slightly more formal, is it acceptable can still be used in casual or informal conversations, especially if you want to convey a certain degree of politeness. Example. Is it acceptable if we meet at the cafe instead of the office? Number 3, would it be possible for me to, or is it possible for me to? The structures would it be possible for me to and is it possible for me to are both polite and formal ways to ask for permission or make a request. These structures are often used in professional or formal settings. Would it be possible for me to extend the deadline for the project? Would it be possible for me to schedule a meeting with you to discuss the proposal? Is it possible for me to use the conference room for a client presentation? Is it possible for me to take a day off next week? In informal contexts, the structures, would it be possible for me to, and is it possible for me to, can be used among friends or acquaintances to maintain a friendly and considerate tone. Examples. Hi, Uncle Mark. Is it possible for me to use your car this evening to meet up with friends? Hi, Michael. Would it be possible for me to borrow your ladder for a quick home repair this weekend? Hey, Bella, is it possible for me to borrow your camera for the weekend? In informal situations, you have some flexibility in how you phrase your request. Feel free to use language that aligns with your relationship with the person you're communicating with. Number 4, do you mind if, or would you mind if? While would you mind if is generally considered more formal and polite than do you mind if, it can still be used in a variety of contexts, including informal ones. The choice between do you mind if and would you mind if often depends on the degree of formality or politeness you want to convey and the specific relationship dynamics in the given situation. Do you mind if? This structure is a polite and casual way to ask for permission or to make a request. It is commonly used in both formal and informal situations. Examples: do you mind if I open the window? It's a bit stuffy in here. Do you mind if I borrow your pen for a moment? I need to jot down a quick note. Do you mind if I take a quick break? I've been working on this project for a while. While considered polite, do you mind if is generally used in a slightly more casual context. It's suitable for a variety of situations, including interactions with colleagues, friends, or acquaintances. Would you mind if? This structure is a more formal and slightly more polite version of do you mind if? It is often used in situations where a higher level of formality or politeness is desired. Examples: would you mind if I used your phone to make a quick call? Mine seems to be out of battery. Would you mind if I left the meeting a bit early? I have a family obligation to attend. Would you mind if I brought a friend to the event? They're visiting from out of town. Would you mind if is generally used in more formal or polite settings, such as the workplace or when making requests from individuals in positions of authority. It adds an extra layer of courtesy to the request. But it can still be used in informal settings. It's a versatile structure that can be adapted based on the context and relationships involved. Examples: would you mind if I borrowed your bike for a quick ride? Mine's in the shop for repairs. Would you mind if I used the car tonight? I promise to fill up the tank. I have a dinner date. Number 5. Do you think I could, or I wonder if I could? Both structures convey a sense of consideration and politeness. They acknowledge the other person's perspective and seek permission in a respectful manner, can be adapted for use in formal and informal situations, making them versatile in various settings. Do you think I could? This structure is a polite way to seek permission or inquire about the possibility of doing something. It implies a degree of uncertainty and seeks the opinion or approval of the person you are addressing. Examples: do you think I could borrow your laptop for a presentation? Mine is acting up. Do you think I could leave a bit early today? I have a personal appointment. Do you think I could have a moment of your time to discuss a work-related matter? This structure is versatile and can be used in various settings, both formal and informal. It strikes a balance between politeness and clarity. I wonder if I could. This structure conveys a sense of curiosity or contemplation while seeking permission. It is a softer and more indirect way to make a request, often used when you want to express a polite inquiry about the possibility of something. Examples: I wonder if I could use your expertise on this matter. Can we discuss it briefly? I wonder if I could ask for your permission to access the shared documents for the project? I wonder if I could take a rain check on our meeting today. Something urgent came up. I wonder if I could is generally considered polite and can be used in various contexts. It is particularly effective in situations where you want to convey a sense of curiosity or thoughtfulness. Now that we've covered the nuances of asking for permission, let's shift gears and discuss the equally important skill of responding when someone seeks your consent. Just as knowing how to ask demonstrates politeness, knowing how to respond reflects your willingness to cooperate and create a positive atmosphere. So, let's explore the art of responding to permission requests in English. When someone asks for your permission, your response carries the weight of collaboration and courtesy. It's not just about saying yes or no. It's about fostering open communication and understanding in various situations. So, how can you respond gracefully when someone asks for your permission? Here are some friendly and affirmative phrases to consider. Giving permission. When you're giving permission, it's important to create a positive and clear response. Start by expressing your willingness with upbeat phrases like absolutely, certainly, sure, of course, okay, yes. For instance, if someone asks to borrow a book, you could say, absolutely, feel free to borrow the book. More examples. Of course, feel free to. Absolutely or okay, you're allowed to. Absolutely or sure, go ahead. By all means, go ahead. Certainly go for it. Next, if there are any conditions or expectations tied to the permission, make them clear. For example, sure, you can use my computer, but please make sure to save your work before logging out. Some structures for conditional affirmative responses are, sure, as long as, certainly, provided that, of course, but only if. Yes, but on the condition that, absolutely, as long as you. Okay, but make sure, certainly, but with the understanding that. Yes, granted that you. Lastly, encourage gratitude by expressing your pleasure in granting permission. You're welcome, or feel free, and enjoy adds a friendly touch to your response. For instance, of course you can use the printer. You're welcome to print your documents anytime. More examples. Could I borrow your camera for the weekend? I'm planning to capture some photos at a friend's event. Sure, as long as you handle it with care and return it by Monday. Feel free to use it for your photography. Is it okay if I take the day off next Friday? I have a personal appointment I need to attend. Of course, but only if you ensure your pending tasks are delegated and you inform your team in advance. Enjoy your day off. Remember, effective communication is a two-way street. How you grant permission contributes significantly to the overall quality of your interactions. So keep it positive, clear, and considerate in every interaction. While it's essential to be accommodating, there are times when you might need to express limitations or decline a permission request. Refusing permission is not about being unkind. Rather, it's about setting boundaries and maintaining a comfortable balance in different situations. So, how can you politely decline a permission request? Step 1. Acknowledge with respect. In formal contexts, when someone approaches you seeking permission, expressing gratitude and respect is key. You might say, I appreciate your asking. Thank you for reaching out. Or, I appreciate the request. This sets a tone of respect right from the beginning. The general cases, you use words to express your regret like, I'm sorry, I'm afraid, regrettably, unfortunately. Specifically, we have the following ways to refuse. I'm sorry, but I can't allow that. I'm sorry, but it's not permitted. I'm sorry, but I can't permit it. I'm sorry, but I can't allow that. I'm afraid I have to say no. Unfortunately, that's not possible. Regrettably, I cannot grant permission. I appreciate the request, but the answer is no. I appreciate the request, but I'm unable to grant permission. Step 2, provide a reason, if appropriate. The next step involves transparency. If comfortable, provide a brief and honest reason for the denial. This adds clarity and helps the requester understand your perspective. For instance, I'm sorry, but I can't lend you my laptop because it's currently being used for a project. Step 3, suggest alternatives if possible. Softening the denial is crucial. Suggest alternatives or compromises whenever possible. This could be, I can't lend you my laptop, but there's a computer lab you can use on campus. It shows you're not just saying no, but you're offering solutions. Let's take a look at the following practical example. Imagine a friend asks to borrow your camera and you need to say no. Thanks for asking, I appreciate it. Or, hey, I appreciate you asking. I'm afraid I can't lend it out right now because I have a photography project coming up. But you know, there's a camera rental service downtown. They have some excellent options you might want to check out. Thank you for joining me in today's exploration of asking for and responding to permission in English. Effective communication is a vital skill, and understanding how to navigate permission scenarios plays a significant role. Whether you're the one asking for permission or the one granting it, remember the importance of respect, clarity, and empathy. If you encountered situations where you had to ask for permission or respond to a request, share your experiences in the comments below. Your stories and insights not only enrich our community, but also help others navigate similar scenarios.